This continued violence is simply not acceptable, and it will be stopped. We will not allow a culture of fear to exist on our streets. For too long there's been a lack of respect shown by these groups of thugs. But there are pockets of our society that are not just broken, but frankly sick, of things that are badly wrong in our society. People allowed to feel that the world owes them something, that their rights outweigh their responsibilities, their actions do not have consequences.
I think, myself personally, the riots are kind of part of a global response regarding a sense of hopelessness. It's going on around the world, so it's not just in London.
If you live in certain areas, you've been having a riot every weekend, every Friday night, you've been having riots where you live. To me, the riots have been going on. People have been complaining about riots, people in their communities, gunshots firing off all sorts. But it's just been in certain pockets, certain areas, and we stay away from those areas.
As you can see, the table is full. If at any point anybody wants to come, you can touch somebody on the shoulder and take their place and make your point.
Things can be dealt peacefully, and there can be still love for it. And this kind of miseducation as well about being bullied. There are other ways. There are other avenues that you can exhaust rather than writing. That's what I believe.
They're just disenfranchised. They're just not a part of this world that these politicians are a part of, and they don't feel a part of what's going on. There's a divide, there's a gap, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I'll say it's because they didn't feel they had a voice. They felt so run down, beat down, oppressed and abandoned that their only way to be heard about the chaos already caused was to lash out. Start a fight, shout out loud, tear down the shops and burn this fucking town alive.
We've got to look at a structure that's taking liberties. So where we are condemning a young person for looting a £60 pair of trainers, but we ignore the £60,000 worth of expenses, we're taking liberties.
I'm from Tottenham, and I see a lot of young black people getting stop and search on a daily basis for no reason. Me and myself have been stop and searched 3 times. For what reason? I don't give them any reason on stopping and searching me, but they still do it just because they see me jamming with 2 other people who apparently look suspicious.
I got stopped and searched a lot when I was younger, to the point where I used to think for about 2 months there was a police car that picked me up from school and took me to my house every day so I couldn't chill with my friends. And all that made me want to do was commit crimes and just to be bad. It didn't actually stop me from doing anything, it just annoyed me and made me angry. And I didn't know how to tell them, I didn't know how to speak their language, so every time they spoke to me I got angry, they got angry, I got arrested, and that was the pattern that kept on happening.
If the kids don't understand how to address those situations and speak to the police in a manner that's not, because I can speak to a police person, yeah, and tell them exactly how I feel, exactly how I feel, without getting arrested, without being in any type of trouble.
Basically what you're saying is there's a script.
Exactly.
There is almost a script, and sometimes young people fall into the role of that script as well. That script can be broken if young people are actually educated about their rights.
I will be 17 in May, just 1 year away till I get to have my say. So what? I listen to hip hop at the bus stop. I don't put my feet up on the seat. Won't find me spitting on the street, abusing the shopman's meat. I choose to pay my bus fare each week. Doesn't that give me a right to speak? What does that pay for? Some illegal war. See how it's
Here and in America, we are one of the most unequal societies. So if you're constantly being shown a better life that you have no access to, you might get by okay, you might. If you toe the line, you might get by okay. But unless you're a footballer, or a singer, or you win the lottery, then you ain't going to get up there. And that, in fact, is what the riots were. It was suddenly, you've won the lottery. Here's a chance for late night shopping with violence. Go out and get it. That's what they do. They break the rules and they get away with it.
I just wanted to say that you know how like young people, when they're like, at school, and when that person gets like, for example, like a BlackBerry, and then they're like, your friend, you get like into peer pressure, and so like they say, oh, why haven't you got this, why haven't you got that, and you feel pressured. So like maybe that's why people went, like young people went to the right, so that's still that opportunity. So they can have like be in a group and stuff and not be out and left out, because you know like that. That's what I'm saying.
So what is it about us around the table here that didn't go out there?
I think more broadly, it's about what you've got to lose. And it's people who haven't got much to lose who are going to make the choice to take a risk and lose it. And that's ultimately about inequality. It's also about people's mindsets, people not realising that maybe they do have a chance, maybe they could get somewhere. But I think ultimately it does come down to that choice. Are you going to get caught? And obviously there was a lot going on which suggested maybe you wouldn't, because they can't be everywhere. And what are you going to lose if you do get caught? And I think that's a different choice for everyone.
It's what that lady said before. It's like the anger and the frustration, and like you're shouting and no one's listening to you. And you are like, you're going around your area and you're seeing all of these things that you can't have, and you have the degree and you have all the things that should have given. So you have the rights, you have all of the rights. You have the rights to housing, you have the right to education, but you haven't got access. You haven't got access to a job. And I think, so going back to it, I think a lot of it is the stake that you have in society and how involved you feel. Because now, where the riots did happen, and I do youth work, and I'm involved in quite a few projects, I wouldn't have risked it. There's no way I would have risked all of that.
This is about a fucking man who got shot in Tottenham. This ain't about having fun on the road and busting up the place. Get it real, black people. Get real. Fight for a cause. If we're fighting for a cause, let's fight for a fucking cause.
I find it interesting that we started the event and it was pretty full in here, and there aren't so many people in here now, and that's, you know, the point where we've got to solutions. The most important part, I think, there aren't so many people in the room, and that's how it kind of always is. Everyone's always got comments to make, but never action to back it.
The Met BPA and no, it's the Met Black Police Association developing these programmes. And part of Voyage is the YBPA, which is Young Black Positive Advocates. These are developing young people in leadership roles to go out into the community, particularly in terms of looking at ways of reducing crime.
I think how I found out how to do things, I went out and I found information and like-minded people myself. And I think a lot of it is where I think young people need to empower themselves to go out and get the things what they want. You mentioned something about getting out of life what you put into it. I think we need to adopt that philosophy as individuals and then share that as a collective.
One little point, sorry, 30 seconds of your time. My thing is, the older generation, I love the older generation. You know why? Because like someone said earlier, they came over here where there was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, and they made it all the way through to I've got a sergeant sitting next to me, and the next policewoman what met the Queen and all that, and the Queen had to bow down to her and certain things and make her know that. Said, boom, you feel me? But my point is, why we can't have a generation what's aiming for that level. When they've reached that level, aim higher now. You can't aim for the moon now. You have to be going Mars.
I wonder what it'd be like to see a brighter way from the shade, but have it shine so bright, blinded I turn away. I wonder how I'd feel if I looked over my window pane and saw a house the size of my block and feel blocked in side by side, top to floor. I wonder what I would want if I spied smiles shining like diamonds in polished platinum. And so I wonder who's responsible for lives both dead and alive. Whether inequality will be exposed as the root of the crimes. And if not, I wonder who, what, when, why. And if not, I wonder whether, if ever, it will end.